Hey everyone, Armor Gaming here and welcome back to Monster Analysis, and today I'm going to be analyzing Mercurius. This monster is known for his speed and elegance. He's usually entrusted with urgent communications. He is also a world traveler and a great poet. Be wary of his trickery though, he will do anything to get his way. So here we have Mercurius as a child, as a teen, and as an adult, and I gotta say I really like him. The design is pretty cool, and just look at him, he looks really fast, and he's actually officially the fastest monster in Monster Legends now. With a base speed of 3,663, he just blew Cupid, Panda Claus, and Lostigos out of the park. He's the fastest monster now. And I know I'm getting ahead of myself because I normally don't talk about speed, but I just have to emphasize that he's officially the fastest monster. That's awesome. And he's a thunder monster, so he's in the league with Voltic and Zyla, so this analysis is going to be pretty interesting. So let's get straight into it. Power 3,355. That power is not one of the strongest powers, it's actually tied with Voltic. But as we've seen, sometimes you don't absolutely need the highest power to win, you just need the right skills. So let's just move on. Life 22,921. That's actually one of the lowest lives in the game. This is the life that attackers tend to have, so it's pretty low. It's 2,000 lower than Voltic's. But again, speed. Come on guys, just look at that. Speed 3,663, the fastest monster in the game as of making this video. It's just absolutely amazing how fast it is. Now I'm gonna switch over to Voltic real quick just to compare the stats. Voltic speed is 3,465. So you might think it's not a big difference. It's what, maybe like 200 points? It's not a big deal. It's a huge deal, especially when you incorporate speed runes. I'm gonna show you later on. It's a huge deal. So make sure you don't miss the part where I talk about recommended runes for this monster. Like I mentioned before, he is a thunder monster, therefore his weakness is earth, and his trait, also pretty amazing, immune to stun. It's one of the best traits to have in the game, especially with so many monsters having stun skills. The fact that this monster has a 100% immunity to stun is technically better than Voltic. I mean, yes, of course, Voltic, he has a 20% chance immunity to like stun and freeze. Possession doesn't really matter because if Voltic gets possessed, all you have to do is use electrodynamic assault on yourself, and then you can basically destroy the enemy. So immune to freeze, immune to stun are really traits to look out for, and this monster has it. So aside from his amazing speed, he also has an amazing trait. Moving on to his default and special skills, we have Swift Strike, nothing special there, 25 damage, 13 stamina. Bolt Throw, 30 damage, 13 stamina. Again, nothing special on the defaults. But his special, Faster than Lightning, deals massive thunder damage to all enemies, may blind all targets. 75 damage, that's typically what we see with special attack. I like the added blind, so that's pretty cool. Blind and high damage. Also a really cool name for a special that actually fits this monster being the fastest in the game. And moving on to skills group 1, we have Electrocution, 35 damage, 26 stamina, no cooldown, a 50% chance to daze. There's nothing really that good about that skill. Back in a Flash, same thing, 35 damage, 26 stamina, no cooldown, but 50% chance to blind. Also not that great. And we have Shocking, deals moderate thunder damage, 50% chance to stun, 35 damage, 26 stamina. Again, off 50% chance, not really good. So we're going to move on to skills group 2. Skill group 2, we have Spark Punch, deals moderate special damage, may blind the target. 1 turn cooldown, 45 damage. That 45 damage skills, when they have a 1 turn cooldown, I don't like them. I like that it gives blind. Let's see what else this monster has to offer. You can't keep up. This is where it gets good. Deals moderate thunder damage, gains 1 extra turn. So just like Voltic, just like Zyla, he has an extra turn skill. 35 damage, that's pretty low. 28 stamina though, that's a good damage to stamina cost ratio. 2 turn cooldown, that's a little high cooldown, and you're gonna see that actually does play into this monster. But again, a really good skill. I think picking the skill set for this monster is extremely easy. You want to run this skill, and you want to run all of skills group 3. So let me just talk about Flash Storm real quick, and then we can move on to skills group 3. Flash Storm, it's an AoE, 35 damage, 2 turn cooldown, 36 stamina. There's a reason you don't want to run this, and that's because, again, there's a better version in skills group 3. So from skills group 2, the only skill you want is you can't keep up. It gives you an extra turn, it's really good. So moving on to skills group 3, we have Velocity Strike, deals heavy special damage, gains double damage. Look at that. You get double damage from an attack. I love when a skill that gives you double damage also deals some damage, because otherwise it kind of feels like you're wasting a turn just to give yourself double damage. 50 damage, 28 stamina, 2 turn cooldown. I'm fine with that. That's pretty good. Lightning Strikes Twice. So here we go. Another extra turn skill. Deals heavy thunder damage, gains 1 extra turn. So just look at this. 4 turn cooldown, 31 stamina, 50 damage. This is actually really comparable to Voltic. Let me switch over to Voltic real quick. His 50k volts, look at that. Deals heavy thunder damage, gains 1 extra turn. 50 damage, 4 turn cooldown. What's the difference? 75 stamina. But here we have a monster that does exactly that. 50 damage, but for only 31 stamina. Big difference. Definitely a lot better than 50k volts. The only problem with this monster is, unlike Voltic, he doesn't have more than 2 extra turn skills, which mean this monster will not be able to do infinite attacks. But again, this attack alone, lightning strikes twice, really good because it also gives precision. Now, I just can't get over how good this is. It's basically, think of Barbatos, who gives himself 2x damage, right? And then uses AoE, and it's a really buffed up AoE. The problem with Barbatos sometimes is that AoEs, they kind of have a higher likelihood of missing, while this monster, instead of giving himself 2x damage, he gives himself precision, increased accuracy, so then he can't miss his AoE. And then we move over to Bright Jolt. He has an AoE, a 45 damage AoE that is not only 45 damage, it also blinds. It's an AoE blind that deals high damage, and the likelihood of you landing this hit is pretty darn high because you're obviously going to be using this skill immediately after using lightning strikes twice. Now, before I move on to the recommended runes, I do have to say I do not believe this monster requires a stamina rune. It would be a waste to give him a stamina rune. And the reason for that is because let's suppose you did give him a stamina rune, right? No matter what, he won't be able to get more than 5 attacks in. And the reason for this is, let's say you can't keep up, right? That has a 2 turn cooldown. After that, you use lightning strikes twice. The cooldown just dropped to 1. After that, just say use Bright Jolt. The cooldown dropped to 0. But Bright Jolt doesn't give you an extra turn, so you would have to end your turn there. So you've used 3 attacks, right? This you can use next turn. This still has a 2 turn cooldown. So then, when it's your opponent's turn, they do whatever they do. Your allies, they do whatever they do. It's back to you. You can use You Can't Keep Up, so that's your 4th attack. But this still has a 1 turn cooldown. You won't be able to use it. So you'll have to use Velocity Strike. And your turn ends there. You've used 5 attacks. Really no need for a stamina rune. Without a stamina rune, you'll be able to do You Can't Keep Up, Lightning Strikes twice, either one of these, and then You Can't Keep Up, and then recharge. So it's still good. There's no reason to run a stamina rune. I really don't think you'll need it. What you do want to run on this monster are 2 strength runes and 1 speed rune, and that's all you need. And again, just really think about how powerful this monster can be. He can give himself precision. If you can basically start up with You Can't Keep Up, damage 1 enemy, whichever enemy's like the biggest threat or whatever enemy has a lot of life, you use You Can't Keep Up on them, then you do lightning strikes twice on them or on another monster, and then use Bright Jolt, and that's gonna land. That's gonna give 45 damage AoE on top of the damage you could have already dealt with You Can't Keep Up and lightning strikes twice, 35, 50, and then a 45 on top of that, and the chances of them hitting are pretty darn high. If you want even more accuracy, you could do lightning strikes twice and then kind of guarantee that hit with You Can't Keep Up because you'll have that added accuracy. So this monster is basically designed to take out a monster in 1 turn if needed to. But let's say you want to do something differently. You can also do lightning strikes twice, give yourself that extra turn, that precision, and do velocity strike, give yourself 2 times damage, and when it's your turn again, do Bright Jolt, which will have increased accuracy and double damage. So there's lots of different ways you can go about with this monster, but as far as runes, you definitely want to run 2 strength and 1 speed. And like with any other attacker, you need a main deny monster to make this monster work efficiently in your team. Now I mentioned previously in the video why his base speed stat is so good, so I want to talk about that in terms of runes. So let me just remind you, his speed is 3,663, right? 3,663, keep that in mind. Voltic has a base speed of 3,465. And now let's move over to runes. So let's take a look at speed runes. Specifically, let's take a look at speed level 10 rune. So a level 10 speed rune increases your monster's speed by 35%. Okay, so again, looking at Voltic's base speed of 3,465. Let's say you give him a level 10 speed rune. His new speed becomes 4,678. I imagine it would round up. So 4,678, keep that in mind. So now let's look at Mercurius. With a base speed of 3,663, all he needs is not a level 9 rune, not a level 8 rune, all he needs is a level 7 rune. A level 7 rune increases your monster's speed by 28%. Look at that, 35 to 28%, that's a 7% difference. But I calculated it, I did the math. Mercurius with a base speed of 3,663, you multiply that by a level 7 speed rune, his speed is 4,689. Again, I think it would round up, but even if it doesn't round up, 4,688, let's just say, compared to Voltic with a level 10, 4,677. 88, 77. Mercurius with a level 7 speed rune is faster than a Voltic with a level 10 rune. Now to me it's just crazy. I've been playing this game for 2 years and I believe I only have 2 level 10 runes, and the only reason I bought them was because they were on sale. It was like a 2-pack for like 600 gems, and I went ahead and bought them because I knew I'd be needing them one day. But for most players, it's super hard to get a level 10 rune. The fact that this monster, Mercurius, can beat a monster with a level 10 rune on speed with just a level 7 rune, that's crazy. Now, of course, we matched him against Voltic, who doesn't have the highest speed, but the fact is that you don't need a level 10 to be faster than the fastest monsters. It's super crazy. At least in my opinion, this is one reason why Mercurius's base speed is so phenomenal. It's incredible how fast he is. So yeah, I mentioned that I really don't think you need a stamina rune, and we've seen how fast his base speed is, so at most you need a speed rune. You don't need 2 speed runes. You definitely don't need 3 speed runes. This guy's an attacker. Use him as an attacker. Give him 2 strength runes. Give him that 1 speed rune, and you're good to go. So I don't normally like to compare monsters in my analysis videos because I just like to keep it about themselves, but it is important sometimes to compare them to one another. I know it's going to get a lot of questions about who's better, Voltic, Mercurius, and unfortunately, Voltic, he's still top dog just because he has 4 extra turn skills. He can attack infinitely, whereas no other monster, not even Xyla, can do that on defense. On offense, of course, both monsters can go non-stop. Mercurius, unfortunately, can only attack 3 times, and then 2 times. He also has the advantage of immune to sun. Of course, he has his high speed. Another disadvantage though is actually that he only has thunder attacks that give him extra turn. On a one-on-one against Voltic, it'd be really hard for Mercurius to win just because, you know, the moment you use Velocity Strike, you don't get an extra turn, and then Voltic can just do like Electrodynamic Assault on you non-stop and basically beat you because your base life is pretty low. So yeah, Voltic is still top dog, but Mercurius, don't count him out. As far as using him in Team Wars, he's going to be really powerful. As far as PvP, he's also going to be really powerful. I really like this monster. I hope you guys can get him. I hope I can get him. I hope you guys enjoyed this monster analysis. Leave a comment below who you want to see next week, and I'll see you guys next time.